Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. So in this video I'm going to be doing a review of the 1983 slasher movie Sleepaway Camp. This for me is definitely a very unique and interesting entry into that horror genre, as it were, and I'm not going to talk about any sort of spoilers in this movie that may happen. Obviously it is a slasher movie, there is a big reveal at the end of the film, and this for me is it's renowned, I think, within the horror community about how this movie ends, and it has this big shock value to it. And yeah, it's a movie that on the whole, I just enjoy. I just have a blast with this film. But yeah, I'm just going to talk about what I get from this movie, what I like about it, what I don't like about it. But yeah, overall, I think my thoughts on this movie are generally positive. And yeah, it's just a fun slasher movie. It could have very easily have been seen as a Friday the 13th rip-off, this movie, but I think it offers something a little bit new and a little bit different despite its similar setting. But yeah, it's got this great premise that I just absolutely love about this family who go on this boating accident where this tragedy happens, and one of the surviving daughter from this tragedy goes and ends up living with her auntie and her cousin. And she ends up, obviously, years later, going on this camping holiday with all these teenagers, and murder ensues. People start getting bumped off one by one, and you led to believe, who's doing this, what's going on. And yeah, it has that wonderful camp setting that I just really enjoy. But getting into some of the negatives about this film, I think some of the acting in this movie is very questionable, to say the least. Very hokey, very hammed up. But it kind of adds to the charm of the movie, I think. It's definitely, that aspect of the movie is not perfect by any means, but it adds to that movie. It adds to the charm of the movie, the hokey acting. But yeah, it's a very enjoyable slasher movie. But I'm not going to talk about any sort of spoilers, particularly the ending in this movie. I am going to talk about what I get from the ending of this film. But yeah, like I said, it's a slasher movie. Characters, some you love, some you hate. The females in this movie are kind of sort of played out as these kind of like evil people. They're just kind of like, they have these monstrous tendencies. They're just not very nice people. Whereas the males in this movie are kind of played up as sex objects. They're kind of wearing tight t-shirts and very short shorts in this movie. But yeah, like I said, the setting I think is just absolutely fantastic. But yeah, getting into the ending of this movie now, I'm not going to give anything away in terms of spoilers or anything like that. I go into any sort of details, but for me, I watched a big YouTuber review this movie, and I left a comment saying that I enjoyed the ending to this movie. I'm not going to say who the big YouTuber is, but I said I enjoyed the ending to this movie, and I thought for the time it was quite clever to sort of go in that direction. And people tore me apart in the comments section saying, "Oh, this is absolute rubbish. You don't know what you're talking about." And I stand by that. I still enjoyed the ending of this movie. Some people would say that it paints a certain demographic in a negative light, which I can understand, but that's not what I got from the movie. I do not see the demographic in this movie in a negative light at all. And yeah, it just really surprised me. I just wasn't expecting it from this movie at all. But to get into that ending and talk a bit more about, again, I'm not going to give anything away in terms of detail, but in the real world, the way that this movie plays out and what it shows at the end, in the real world, if that demographic, that is something that someone, an individual, has to come to by themselves. It is a real life realization that someone has to discover about themselves and make a very serious life-changing decision, and that is up to them. Completely got 100 respect for them and what they decide to do. And it's about discovery of oneself. Completely get that. In this movie, though, that is forced upon this person. That person did not come to that realization themselves. It is forced upon them. And yeah, that's that's my take on the movie. That's what I got from this movie. It for me, it does not paint anyone in a negative light, apart from the true villain of this film, in my opinion. But yeah, it's a good, solid horror movie. I really enjoy it, and when we get to that realization, when we get to the ending and we find out who the killer is and a bit more about them, I just really, really enjoyed it. It freaked me out. Not so much what it was, but the sound design and the imagery that they used to show you this killer. I really just, yeah, it really creeped me out. I thought it was quite effective for a movie of that time period, definitely. But yeah, overall, for me, it is a slasher movie that I just absolutely love. I watch this movie pretty much nearly every October now. It's gone into that horror roster of movies that I watch in October. And yeah, I just have an absolute blast with it. So kind of the way I watch the movie definitely is I have the Scream Factory Blu-ray of this film. Yeah, I think the movie is available on YouTube, but for me, the Blu-ray is the way to go. I just think it's a fantastic horror film. Definitely has its problems, but for me, I just enjoy this one. I pretty much watch this movie back to back with The Burning as well, because I think they just have two great settings, two fun entries into that slasher genre that I just really enjoy. So yeah, this is the Scream Factory Blu-ray that I watch, and I recommend picking up if you like these types of movies. So yeah. So yeah, guys, those are my thoughts and my review on the movie Sleepaway Camp. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one, guys. So take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.